So you are ready to take your web design business to 6 figures or more per year. At this point, you're probably super excited about this, but I imagine you're feeling like I was when I thought about hitting 6 figures, and you're probably a little overwhelmed and a little daunted because the thought of hitting $100,000 or more per year can be a little overwhelming. The good news is there's a lot of different ways you can get to 6 figures with your web design business. In this video, I'm going to share my top 5 strategies that I implemented to help take my business to 6 figures. If you don't know me, I'm Josh. I was a freelance web designer, solopreneur turned agency owner, and I scaled my web design business to 6 figures using these 5 principles that I'm about to share with you. These are actually taken from my free Masterclass training on taking your business to 6 figures and beyond. So if you like this video, we're just scratching the surface with these 5 strategies here. If you want the full thing and you want a lot more information that's going to practically empower you to take your business to 6 figures, make sure you go below, click below. You can get access to that. You'll get a full free 1-hour Masterclass training from me. I'll guide you through this in more detail. But for right now, let's focus on these 5 strategies, starting with number 1, a task inventory. Now, that sounds like some sort of corporate term that you would hear for a manufacturing plant or something, but what a task inventory essentially is one of the most important things you've got to do right up front to go to 6 figures, because this is all about looking at what you're actually doing every day, week to week. So you can do this a number of different ways. You can literally write down what you're doing about every day for a handful of days or maybe over a week or two. You can use a time tracking app if you want. You could write it in a Google Doc or a spreadsheet, whatever you want to do to keep track of what you're doing. Run a task inventory. Look at the type of tasks you're doing, whether it's sales or onboarding or client communication or calls, or whether it's project fulfillment, whether you're actually building sites, how long you're spending on CSS tweaks, stuff like that. Keep track of what you're doing over a handful of days, maybe a week or two. You generally don't need to go longer than that. And then once you have a good inventory of what you're doing, run the 80-20 rule, which essentially means that 20% of your time is accounting for 80% or more of your income. This is crucial because once you find out what tasks are getting you the biggest return on investment, you've got to focus on those. And then those lower level tasks, doesn't mean that you're better than them or you're never going to do them, but you've got to automate and delegate those as quickly as possible. Case in point, for example, one of my students recently was manually updating all of his WordPress websites, and he had about a dozen or so, and it was costing him about 8 hours a month. Well, I told him about this lovely tool called ManageWP where you can put all your websites there and do updates in bulk. It's a great way to manage a lot of websites. He was able to trim about 7 hours a month off by just using that tool, and was a cost-effective tool. He was able to save a lot of time. That's just a practical example of one thing you can do to save time. And once you figure out what tasks you're doing, and once you know the high-level tasks, whether that's laying out the main designs for your websites, whether it's sales, whether it's working on your site, you've got to focus on that because you've got to work on your business, not just in your business. And you really have to make sure that your business is not running you, but you are actually running your business. So step number 1, run a task inventory, which is going to segue perfect into step number 2, which is to solidify your primary services. So once you run your task inventory and you know what you're doing day to day, week to week, and you know what you need to spend most time on, what's going to be crucial is that you make sure that you either drop or limit services that you don't need anymore. And there's a great quote that I think corresponds perfectly with this, and that is, what got me here won't get me there. For example, I used to do print design and graphic design along with my web design services. I also was doing videography and photography for like staff shots and stuff. Well, I realized later in my journey, when I was working on website projects that were $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, I was like working on business card designs for a couple $100, and I realized, okay, I have got to make a change here. These business cards were great for a long time. They opened doors. But at this point in my career, I can't be focusing on a $200 business card and going back and forth on revisions while I've got this $5,000 website project just sitting waiting for me. So I had to drop and limit my print design services. And in the free masterclass that you can get access to below, I'll talk through that in a lot more detail to help you do the same. But either way, solidify your top services. For me as a web designer, I realized my most profitable services for both revenue and on my time were website design, website hosting and maintenance, and SEO. I still did logo and branding occasionally, but those were few and far between. I got rid of my print design services, my video, photography services, all the things that were really time consuming. And once I focused on my top profitable services, suddenly my business started to turn around. And that was a huge key for me to get to six figures. So just remember, what got me here won't get me there. That's going to be a really, really crucial quote to remember as you start to limit your services and move forward. So number 2, solidify your main services. Number 3, once you have your task inventory done, you've got your services solidified, we got to look at your business. You have to refine your systems and your processes. If you're taking forever to build websites, that's a problem. You've got to refine your process. This is one reason I created my web design process course, which is my 5-phase, 50-step process. You're welcome to check that out if that would help you. I also have a free podcast episode on that process, which just skims the surface of it. So check that out. Make sure you have your build and your process really, really in shape and ready to go so you can quickly build and deploy websites fast. Additionally, not only from the deliverables of what you're doing with websites, you also need to work on your internal processes. And one thing I did that changed the game for my business was I automated my proposals, contracts, and invoicing sequence. I was sending out manual proposals via a PDF, and then I was waiting for clients to say, yep, I'm ready to go. Then I would send them a manual contract that they would sign and send back, and then I would send an invoice. Once I got that back, then I would send my getting started page. It was just a really time-consuming process. And although some of those things just may take 5-10 minutes, they add up when you put them all together. So what I did is I used a platform called 17 Hats, and I created a workflow. So I could send a proposal that was from a template, I could customize it accordingly, and then once a client accepted that, it would kick them over to my contract, they would e-sign, then they would go to my invoice automatically. Once they paid, then they would be kicked off to my getting started page, and that set up another sequence that dramatically reduced time on every project. And the first time I saw that happen, it was night and day, because it did take a little bit of time to set up. But man, once you set up an automation like that, it pays off immediately, and then you end up saving time and time and time and time over and over and over again. So refine your systems and processes, both working on your websites and your internal processes. Number 4, this is a biggie. Most website designers are focused on new client after new client after new client, and it ends up being this feast and famine rat race. Number 4 is to focus on your A clients. Focus on your best clients, even if there's just a few. If you really take the time to make your web design experiences amazing from start to finish, you will get referrals, because that client is going to love working with you and they're going to be happy to refer you, especially if you ask them, which is another big point with this. Make sure you ask your best clients for referrals. So by focusing on your A clients, you can avoid that feast and famine and trying to get new clients every day or every week. And I'm not saying don't try to get new clients, because that's important, but if you focus on your best clients, here's the kicker. They will buy more services from you, or they'll buy recurring services from you, like hosting, maintenance, SEO plans, ongoing content, or web design tweaks. And often, a lot of clients will hire you for more projects. This was the case for me once I started really implementing this, and I thought to myself, all right, Josh, stop trying to get new clients every day and just focus on your best clients. I started sending clients personal videos, just checking in, personal emails, check-ins with them. And then suddenly they were interested in more of my services. And one thing you can do, which is really cool with this, is if you have new services, there's no need to try to market it to a brand new audience. You can market to your current audience because they already know, like, and hopefully trust you. So present that to them. And whether you want to just offer them a new service, I'd be wary about being too spammy or salesy, but you can offer a free audit or a consultation or something that's going to get them really interested in the service, and then they'll very likely buy from you. Focus on your A clients. It's one of the most underrated things you can do in your business. And whether you want to do this, like I said, with a personal video, an email, however you're communicating with your clients, whether you want to do it randomly or whether you want to do it quarterly, I recommend generally like a quarterly check-in with your best clients. Do that, guys. I promise you right now, if you implement this, even if you just want to test it out, you'll see changes immediately, because suddenly you'll start that referral train. You'll build better, deeper relationships. Less clients will start to leave you. The churn rate won't be as bad. Focus on your best clients. It's so underrated. Get out of the rat race and feast and famine of web design. have new clients be more sparingly. You can focus on your best clients. That's a biggie. And then finally, the fifth tip is to offer a 10x product or service. What this means is essentially that 10% of your clients are willing to pay you 10 times as much as they already are. Why are they not doing that? You just haven't offered a service for them. So for example, most web designers are doing web design, hosting, maintenance, maybe copywriting, SEO, a variety of other services. Well, one thing you can do, which is what I did to have much bigger projects and more high ticket value clients, is to bundle or package all of them up together. So what I learned to do as I got more familiar with design, conversion-based design, better copy, SEO, I offered some of these services individually that clients could do, but I also offered a big 10x style product that had all of them together. So if a client wanted to get a new website, they needed content and copy, they needed SEO, they needed, other sorts of conversion and email marketing integrated, I offered a package that was my 10x product. And suddenly, this is how I was able to get projects at 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, and so on. That way I wasn't just building websites for $1,000. It was a full type of package. Now, if you want to do all this yourself or partner with people for some of those, is totally up to you. I ended up hiring out a lot of my white label like SEO services and stuff like that, but I was still able to offer a $10,000 package instead of just a $1,500 website. So offer a 10x package. And don't forget, when you're doing strategy and consulting and really high level thinking for your clients, that can be a service. A lot of you are probably doing this for free. I did. I was doing free consulting work for clients left and right. And then I realized we're actually doing some high level stuff that's making a big impact for a lot of clients. I should probably charge for this. So don't be afraid to charge for that either. Or if you have expertise in one certain area, for example, maybe SEO isn't your thing, but you're really good at copy and you can make some catchy headlines and you can create content that's going to convert. Specialize in that. Offer that as a high ticket service along with your web design and other services. So offer that 10x product. So just a quick recap and just a reminder, these 5 strategies, we just scratched the surface on these. You can get my free masterclass, which is a 1-hour training video that will walk you through this and a lot more things in a lot more detail. We also cover $100,000 and how to break that down practically month per month for you. So make sure to check that out. Just a quick recap. Number 1, make sure to run your task inventory so you know what you should be working on and only you should be working on to either delegate or automate the rest. Number 2, make sure that you solidify your top services. Number 3, make sure you refine and really systematize as much as you can in your processes and systems so you can run your business efficiently. Number 4, focus on your A clients, focus on your best clients. They will continue to buy higher ticket items from you and recurring revenue. And then finally, offer a nice 10x style product, whether that is something you specialize in or whether it's a value-based pricing thing, or if you just package all your services up for a big old package that somebody would be interested in, do that. And those, my friends, are the 5 top strategies that help me take my business to 6 figures, and you're going to be able to implement right now to help you do that for your business as well. So I hope these have helped. Again, these are all pulled from my brand new free masterclass on how to take your business to 6 figures. So get access to that below. I'd love to spend an hour with you and help you work on your business to take it to 6 figures.